started my first company from Facebook. I was already clocking thousands of dollars at a very young age.
Do you get worried sometimes that everything you've worked for may vanish in thin air? For that reason, you have to keep going?
No. That's the least. I don't think my story is unique to Africans. I was raised by an auntie with about 15 children. We all stay in one room. We hadn't built our house then. In a very small village where there was no light growing up, there was no TV. My first classroom I can remember was a tree. And I knew the conditions I had to go through in the village. To me, it was never fair. I started an idea in the US and said I was gonna build a self-sustainable, affordable, and accessible school. You can do everything for people, but to give them knowledge, that's how we end the cycle of poverty.
Frederick Benefringpong is a visionary farmer, serial entrepreneur, and the CEO and founder of Farming in Africa. His inspiring journey from a humble village in Ghana to becoming a transformative force in education and sustainable agriculture is marked by resilience and dedication. Fred's mission is to uplift communities through education and agriculture, creating a brighter future for all.
Becoming a farmer is not a fashion show. You don't need to be a farmer. You can play a lot of role in the value chain if you really understand it. And if you're looking to make money, that's where most of the money also lies.
I'm learning everything bit by bit. And again, I've learned another thing. It is who you are and who you've decided to be in this world. Hey, thank you once again. You're welcome to Connected Minds podcast. My name is Derek. And today I'm seated with Fred. I'll tell you a story of how we actually met. And this is why I love Connected Minds, right? So I saw his page on YouTube and then I did a screenshot, sent it to my assistant to draft a bio about whoever is behind this business. And he sent it to me, but the truth is I didn't read it when he sent it. Straight away I said, invite him because I'd love to sit and have a chat with him. Then I get a phone call from Maya saying that we need to go and meet his friend. His name is Fred. I didn't connect the dot, honestly. I really should have. So the day I met him, he sat down and he was speaking with Maya, and then Maya goes, hey, Derek, meet my friend Fred. Then I went, wait, hold on, Fred what? When he said the last name, then something clicked and I checked on the bio and realized that it's the same person that I'm trying to get on the podcast. Maya has just brought me to this guy. Look, this world is connected, whether you like it or not. So stay connected with me. I'm gonna ask him certain questions of his life and how he's learned so much about farming and how he's impacting the people he is. Because I believe this guy is a genius. Today, actually, I was watching one of your videos and I was like, this guy is amazing. And it was a video that goes all the way back to, I think, when you were in the US. And you were with some of your friends. There was a library behind you and you guys were talking.
Okay.
And I said, nah, this guy, you had hair, man. You had a little hair.
Yes.
But how you been?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I get shout out to Ademaya for connecting us, and I'm glad you also came. Yeah, you called me early in the morning and said, I want to come and see you with a friend. I was like, why not? Come, So we decided to meet, and I'm glad you guys came.
Yeah. The bulk of the work that Fred does is in agriculture. Now, I've been to his place. I've seen his office. I've seen his house. One of his homes, probably. And I can promise you that if you ever thought that farming doesn't pay, you talk rock. But anyway, what's your backstory?
Backstory. Grew up and born. I'll give you a quick summary. So, born and raised in Ghana in a small village called Sanase in the Bono region of Ghana. Moved to Accra after high school. Hustled on the street. Started my first company at 18. A travel and tour company. To that, got myself educated and got a scholarship. I studied in Turkey. So one thing most people don't know is I speak Turkish, but I'm very rough Turkish now. Then moved to London, studied in London. Then moved to the US, completed my education in the US. then moved back to Ghana.
Fred, you're taking a lot of things out of this. You know, the details of, you know, how,
Yeah.
look, what was your upbringing like?
Uh,
Growing up,
yeah.
what was your home like?
I mean, that's like, you know, I don't think my story is unique to Africans because, you know, it's a daily life to us, it's normal, you know, but I grew up in a very interesting but also very disciplined and good home, you know, depending on how you look at it. I was raised by an auntie, you know, with about 15 children. You know, we all stayed in one room. We hadn't built our house then. So, in a very small village where there was no lights growing up, there was no TV, you know, very remote. My first classroom, I can remember, was a tree, you know, under a tree. So, I got to a point where I've got into the highest of the grade in our village. So I had to go to Brekum, which now it looks shorter, but when I was a kid, it was like at least 1.5 hours walk from my village to go to Brekum and continue education from grade 6. You know, so that was the beginning. You know, you go to school, after school you go to the farm and help your mom out, carry firewood back. You know, the next day go to school in the morning. And I think at some point, early stage, we were doing morning and afternoon. So if your school was in the afternoon, you go to farm in the morning. If it's in the morning, you go to farm in the afternoon, you know. So that's the kind of childhood I had, but I was very fortunate to have parents who really cared about education. Among all my siblings, I think I've been the only one who have been to university. And my mom, who raised me, you know, shout out to her, has raised, the last time I counted, about 54 children.
Wow.
Yes, all from different mothers and different parents, different communities. And that's what she also does. And she does it with so much passion, with so much love. And I think that's her calling as well. So I think, yes, that's the kind of home. Yeah. I don't know.
You know, I was reading your bio,
Yeah.
and one of your lovely assistants sent it to us. And there were a few things in there about how you had the ambition to further your education, but then the means were not there.
Yeah.
And one way or the other, the universe created a way.
Yeah.
Talk to me.
Yeah, I think that was when I moved to Accra. So I moved to Accra. I had admission into Legon, but obviously I couldn't afford it. So, you know, I ended up on the streets of Accra. So I did different things. You know, I sold, you know, everything you can think of, everything I can lay my hands on. And I think Oxford Street, you know, was my sport. So, you know, some of the guys out there who were like, you know, try to sell you craft and everything, like that was me.
You were one of them?
Yeah, man, that was me back then. Did a lot of that, did different things, you know, for then time Zane had come to Ghana new. I used to sell phones for Zane, you know, and I was making a 1 cedis per each phone that I would sell. But I was also their best seller, you know, I could sell 12 phones in a day, which was like mind blowing. Through that, they took me to Cape Coast, to the festival to go and sell phones there. I went, did justice to that, but whilst I was there, I had the opportunity to visit the Cape Coast Castle and meet a lot of like foreigners. And I was like, that was when it clicked for me about tourism. And I was like, why are people coming to Ghana? And I would ask them, what are they coming to do? They said they're either traveling on a tour or to volunteer. And the question to me was, why wouldn't you do this in my village? But rather stay in the coast where I feel like it's more developed. Because in my village, you know, my friends were dropping out of school because they didn't have pencil, books, school uniform, basic things. So right there, I was like, how can I combine tourism with impact? So how can I take people like the people I'm meeting every day on the street into my community and use it to develop the community? So right there, I started learning about tourism, and that's when I started my first travel company. And one day on the street, I met a group of white people who said, can you help us find restaurants? I was like, let me put what I'm selling down and I can come. I put it down, I came back, there were about 12 people, and I took them to a restaurant. They asked me, what do I want to do in life? I told them my vision about going into tourism. They said, start with me. Start with us, take us around. So I took them in a trotro to Labadi Beach, to Kwame Nkrumah Museum. The time I didn't sell anything, but I enjoyed the moment. Like you said, like connected minds, like the kind of information or discussion I was having with them was something I've never had. It was deep. I could see it's the next level. I really enjoyed it. So I was like, this will be a good thing. I want to meet more people like this. So it really inspired me when it came to tourism. And I decided, I'm going to go get some certificate programs in tourism and do. So I went to Gimpa Hot Cat, did about 3 months ground handling, 3 months tour guiding, 3 months tour operation, and then I started my first company from Facebook. So yeah, in a year, I was already clocking thousands of dollars, from tens of thousands of dollars from Facebook, at a very young age, just targeting people who wants to come to Ghana and marketing the beauty of what I can do, which is authentic experience in rural villages whilst giving back to the communities. So in 2010, I sent the first group to my village. We built a water system for the village. We did so many different things. One day I was there, a woman reached out to me on Facebook and said, hey, I've read a lot of, blog posts and stuff about you, and I want to come to Ghana, and when I come to Ghana, I want to do something like what you do, authentic. I was like, great. So she came with her family and friends, and we went, but we spent only 3 days in the village, so we couldn't even talk about it. The moment she got back, she called me and said, I've seen the amazing work you're doing, and my husband and myself, we want to sponsor you, get education anywhere of your choice.
Wow.
Yes. So that's how I was able to get back to school.
Pause a second. It is the individual that you are. It is the path that you set yourself on. People saw that, and everybody had an option that to come to help you.
Yeah.
This is beautiful. Such a beautiful story.
Thanks.
So you didn't end up going to the university?
No.
You quit.
Yeah.
And then go on the street.
Yeah.
Started selling.
Yeah.
Became a tour guide.
Yeah.
Set up a tour company.
Yeah.
Then someone reached out to you to support you through education.
Yeah.
Connected minds. Yeah, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. And you're a pretty hardworking guy. And I think a lot of people that see, when I watch your videos, I could see passion, behind what you do.
Sure.
And, when a man decides to add desire and passion together, the world has no option than to clear the path for them.
Yeah.
And I think that's certainly something I see. I've read your bio several times because it's beautiful to read.
Thank you. Shout out to my wife.
She wrote it, right? Yeah, no, she did a great job.
Yeah.
It's the accolades. It's beautiful, man. So, what happened then?
So yes, I ended up in London, and studied in London for 2 years. Then, they became like family to me. So I will, they'll spend Christmas in the US and spend New Year's with me in London, and then go back. So it was back and forth, and we decided, why don't I just move to the US? So I applied to a couple of universities, obviously got accepted into University of San Diego, the private university, beautiful campus. Got there, started studying, took every opportunity that I can, conferences, invitations, entrepreneurship. But one of the organizations that I was key in was the Changemakers Society, which is basically how do we make impact in the world. And through that, I think when I was in London, after I traveled to London and started seeing the education, how different is it from what I'm used to in my village, I started developing a strong passion for education. So I decided I was going to cut all the philanthropic work I was doing and focus only on education and just support people in rural communities. So I started the first charitable club on campus, and the goal was just there was a time where through my travel company and my charity, we actually donated maybe about 300 school uniforms across government schools in Ghana, in the Ashanti region, in my village as well. But then I wanted to do more, so I said, okay, I visited a lot of villages and their school structure and so on. So I wanted to build a school for my community. So I went ahead to build a 3 classroom by selling t-shirts on campus, food on campus, build a 3 classroom.
Nah, step on that. Selling t-shirts and what?
Croissants,
Okay.
everything.
Talk about it.
So it's just because. So you're a student.
Those are the baby steps.
Yeah. So, I was buying school uniform, which was cheap. I think with 80 cedis by then, I could sew a school uniform for a kid, so I could do things. But I wanted to do more. I didn't want to just give them t-shirt, school uniforms. I wanted to build a school for them. So I got a few people join my club from all over the world, and then we started fundraising on campus, printing t-shirts called Hot Rice. It's still, that organization is still running in my university now, but I founded that, and we will print t-shirts early morning, cold, we'll go out, sell breakfast and tea, like anything for students to buy, professors to buy, and that money will go into the charity. So together with a few friends from the US as well, we also had a foundation. We're both basically working to build this school. So finally we were able to build the 3 classrooms for the village. But fast forward, I went into the school and realized that it wasn't sustainable. The upkeeping of the school, wasn't going the right direction. The maintenance, like people weren't taking care of it. I had an issue where there was some exams week, the headmaster hadn't come to school, and therefore the kids weren't writing exams. Meanwhile, these kids were traveling from different villages, some walking 2 hours, 3 hours to come to school, and I was like, that's not right. For me to create something sustainable, I need to build something that I can have full control of, so that is why I started an idea in the US and said I was going to build a self-sustainable, affordable, and accessible school. The goal was to build it across all rural villages in Ghana, starting with my village. So I went there and I started with 3 classrooms with 120 students, built a beautiful campus, kids enjoyed it, and fast forward, we are 9 years now, we have about 700 students in that school. We wrote our first BEC this year, just a couple of weeks ago, right? So that was when I was in school in San Diego. So I was doing that alongside, and then
how school was sold to me. When you said you have to travel, people have to travel, they have to walk miles and miles to get to school. Mm-hmm. I had to do that too. And the motivation to do that was because I was told that the only way that I can become wealthy is if I go to school. Wow. That was how it was sold to us. For your future. Yeah. So go to school. Yeah. So sometimes, it's just rained and then the roads are muddy, but we still have to go through that to get to school. Yeah. Just because of the future. Yeah. You're doing a great job in that village, man.
You're welcome. I think, you can do everything for people, but to give them knowledge, that's how we end the cycle of poverty. Yes, it's by empowering people with knowledge.
Brother, because of education, the two of us are sitting here, and that's our common ground.
Exactly.
And if I or you did not go to school to the level where you have, it would have been very, very impossible for us to sit and have intellectual conversations like this.
Yes, that's true. So it's the elevation, it elevates people from level to level. Yeah. So if we really want to end that cycle of poverty that goes going around, we need to be able to level a certain generation up that cycle, and to me that's why I chose education, because I think if I can give anything back to the community that raised me, it has to be the mind, so yeah.
There was a day I did a podcast episode, and my mom was downstairs, So I went to her and I said, do you know that because of education, I'm having rich men's kids come to my house to do a work? That would have never happened. You know, so let's keep educated.
Yes.
Which is why farming in Africa is educating farmers. Beautiful.
Right. Yes.
Do you get worried sometimes that everything you've worked for may vanish in the air? For that reason, you have to keep going?
No. That's the least. I've had partnerships where it didn't work out, where I had to let go. I've had issue with people. I'm always ready to start again because I think I'm much smarter. I'm much capable. If I'm supposed to start everything life again, I think I will be much more successful, quicker. So that fear of things going down, no. If I'm supposed to start a YouTube channel again, I think I will move faster. If I'm supposed to start any business again, I think the people I know, the experience I've had. So no, I don't at all.
Uber Ghana launch. After all, you know, things that you've done, where did the launching of Uber Ghana come in?
So the launch of Uber Ghana came in, started from when I was in London. When I had the education vision or mindset, I also had an idea for transportation. So I decided to bring taxis together. So I started a company called Blah Blah Taxi. And the goal was to bring enough taxis into Ghana from Europe. And if I'm able to bring enough, and I started this work and pay thing. So the drivers will work for some time, they will own the cars. And then after they own the cars, I don't get any revenue. And the next thing is to connect them together because now they have a good quality car, right? That is needs that people need. So then I can bring them together and connect them to the market. And this was my idea. So I pitched it to a professor who was American. By then, I don't know if Uber was even in London. And then he asked me, have you heard of the company called Uber? And I said, no. And it's like, you should look them up. They are doing something like that. So I was like, okay. So I think I did, but fast forward, I was just bringing my car. So I brought maybe almost 20 cars to Ghana whilst I was studying in London. And they were all being taxi, doing work and pay and so on. And then I had a trip through my travel company, students that I had talked to about this business as well. And he had come back to Ghana to do an internship with the US Embassy in Ghana. So I was there, he reached out and said, hey, I was at the office today and I heard Uber is coming to Ghana. So I've just recommended you to them. Because I think it's very similar to what you're trying to do. I was like, really? He's like, yeah. So then I got an email saying you've been recommended. Send us this and this and this. So I sent everything that I've got. And then there was an interview scheduled. It was a full day interview from morning till evening. I think I spoke to about 8 or 10 people from different countries. It was like brain draining. They went through that day. Then in 3 weeks' time, they got back to me, gave me another set of interview, then gave me a test that I had to take online, passed all that. Then they reached out to me and said, are you ready to go to Ghana? I said, I'm still a student. I have 1 semester to finish. They said, no, we need you in Ghana next week. By then I was living in San Francisco. I said, I have my apartment paid for 1 year. I'm living downtown San Francisco, of course. And they're like, no, we will pay for your apartment. You need to get on a plane, go to Ghana. We will bring people to your house, pack your things. We'll pay for everything. We'll ship your couch, your bed, everything to Ghana so that you can go and do this. So I talked to my professor and he's like, are you asking me? Get up and go, So my professor, my dean was like, take the opportunity and go. So I quit school. Flew to Ghana on the, I think think it was 13th of May. Flew to Ghana, and then they packed everything, shipped my couch, everything back to me. In the contract, they said in 1 year time they'll bring me back and let me finish my degree and then come back. I said okay. So I came to Ghana. When I came to Ghana, there was a gentleman from Canada who was like, what she does is she supports growing markets to grow and launch. So he was my immediate person to work with. We have a few part-time workers. So I was there, thrown into it. They said, build it. This is for you now. So started recruitment, part-timers, both rider side, doing events, everything. And then lucky for us, on the 9th of June, we were able to turn the app on. The day we turned it on, actually, it poured rain, heavy rain. Our whole office was flooded. The gutter in front of office was flooded to like my belly button. And the drivers were stuck at the end of it. Every driver from Uber who was there from day one will testify to this. Had to take my pants off, take my shirt off in my boxer, carry my bag, walk through that dam of water, cross it to the other side, organize all the drivers at Asanka Locals restaurant. That's why I turned all of them on. And then it's Uber. The moment we turned it on, rides started coming in. Drivers were leaving Asanka Locals to go pick. They were like, is this real? Is this a natural person asking for it? Day by day, man, it grew Uber to what it is today.
Learning everything, bit by bit. And again, I've learned another thing. It is who you are and who you've decided to be in this world. And everything you're saying is people connect with you.
Yes.
They can see your vision, they can see who you are, and they just throw opportunities at you. But the beautiful thing is that you're always ready. Right? So if you're listening today and you find this story inspiring, we cannot be afraid, We can choose to be
a better version.
So let's not get too stuck in our ways and our one way of thinking. If you haven't subscribed, please do become part of the family and stay connected. Now, there's a big story, huge story that I read about. And I said, wow, you've been through quite a lot.
Yeah.
You invested over 5 million Ghana cedis in farming.
Yeah.
And you got told by the traditional council that you should let that farm go. You had over 300 goats in that farm.
Yeah.
And all of that had to go. I don't want to I don't want to talk about the aftermath, which is now. I want to talk about when you got that news after you had invested so much into your farm. Yeah. What was happening in your mind?
I think I was hurt for the fact that my vision were being I'm trying to choose my word wisely because the vision still exists and it's getting better and better. But the vision for the community, right? Because it was costing me, I have to fly to that community to see the farm and see my school. So the goal was to put a lot together. I have a land in that community where I'm going to build the next technical school, right? So I wanted to build everything of mine in that community. My mom is Ghana. My dad is from that community. That community raised me. So to me, the goal was to build my life after a certain time there and everything there, and give back to that community. So I think it was more of the opportunity. And I was like, we're gonna miss this opportunity. That's how I felt. But I have to come to terms with it. But it wasn't easy. It was tough. Feeling that kind of in a short-term betrayal, and we couldn't really come to an understanding of what we could have achieved together. Every problem there is a solution to it, but I felt like we couldn't. So yeah, that was helpful.
5 million Ghana cedis is a lot of.
But that's what you could even account for. I mean, before I started this journey, I've traveled around the world for research and so on. And the reason why that money even came out to us, a journalist asked me, and I was like, I don't even know, let me call my accountant. So I called my accountant and said, hey, how much have we spent on this project, everything? And she just put the numbers together, looked through the books, and said, oh, a little over 500,000. And then so the journalist was there, and then I showed him the message. He said, oh, my accountant is. But it doesn't include, the when we were even clearing the land, the beginning when I didn't even have an accountant, all the travel which was personally funded, the number of people I brought outside to come and even, so, I mean, we can put money on certain things, when they're passions.
Did you feel like giving up at that point?
Oh no. It was a piece of the puzzle that had just been removed. And that's when if you're able to see the bigger picture, and the part each is going to play. So the goal was to set up 3 farms, one in the south, one in the north, and one in the middle belt. I started from my hometown, so that's the middle belt, in the Bono region, to use it as the experimental farm, figure things out. Once they're working, let's get it to the other regions so that people can have access to this kind of farming and learn from it. So when that model, and I had already bought the lands in all those sectors. So like I said, it was 3 pieces of a puzzle, and one was just shut down. So quickly, I fall back to the other piece, and then quickly built.
Have you got anything for my audience?
I mean, we've said enough. Thank you for inviting me, and if you've been watching till this end, then thank you for listening to me, right? I think we said a lot about, it's me and the opportunities and being ready. I think, life is not fair, and some might have a lucky way will be handed to them. Some of us, we have to work it. I learned how to use a computer in 2009, 2010. Fast forward, in 4 years, I was launching the biggest tech company in the world. Right? One of the biggest tech companies. It is possible. You just need to put your mind to it. Find that one thing that in your downwards point, you can still get up from bed and do. And just give it all. Just give it everything that you have. Trust me, give yourself 5 years, 4 years, you'll be the best at it. Just practice. Work for free. Let people take advantage of you. Go and find the right people that are doing it. There was a time in an interview I said this. I said, when somebody sees their favorite musician on the street, they have every courage to jump and yell and shout at that person and get the person's attention and kiss the person and whatever they want to do. But you want to be a podcast host, and you see Derek, the first reaction is you're shy. You even start to judge Derek. Hey, look at the kind of dressing he's doing, look at the kind of car he's driving. So when it comes to the people, so when I'm saying find the thing that you're looking for, find the people that are in that thing and cherish them, learn from them, humble yourself, work with them, right? Because they have done it. There's so much you can learn. And I always tell farmers, every farm you go, whether it's small, big, you will learn something and apply it to your farm. And that's how life is.